Hello everyone, Dead from IT here, and today's video is going to be a bit of a shorter one perhaps, but I wanted to give a quick update as to where I've been recently, and also do kind of a companion video for part 1 of my definitive outward build guide to build my particular build and all of the tips and tricks that I've picked up over the last 100 hours or so that I've put into Outward. Obviously, I'm relatively new at the game, so I'm not going to know a lot of things or maybe even anything, but I thought it might be fun. So, where have I been recently? Well, my computer was having some issues, performance issues, honestly. And it created a situation where I had maybe 40 hours of video footage that I was going through editing, several completed videos that I just wasn't really quite happy with. I wanted to put some more touches on before I posted them because I am a bit of a perfectionist like that. You probably haven't been able to tell based on my actual based on the actual content that I put out, but I do like to have a certain quality of content when I produce things. So that's definitely something to consider, and part of the reason why I haven't posted in so long. But the main reason was because when my PC had all these performance issues, obviously I lost all of that footage. And so I had to, not get an entirely new PC, but I did have to upgrade my
Rise and
PC
shine. If you cut,
You heard,
quite a
Mother.
bit,
Away
just
with
in
you, or
order
I'm sorry,
to.
that was the first thing. If I could, once you, that doesn't,
Oh,
you
whoops!
must.
I
Here's
clicked
what
the
I
wrong dialogue
never.
option.
Once you remember, you only have a few days.
I
May
keep
your ancestors
needing to
watch over
change
you.
this because it's just a little too loud, but I can never really find the right volume setting. But anyway, so my PC was having issues. I finally got all those sorted out, and then my girlfriend was in town for a little bit there, and obviously I wasn't going to, take away from the time that I had with her to record a video. So I didn't do it then either. But the good news is now we are back, and in 2024 you can expect at least one video every single week. I'm gonna try to also live stream at least once a week, but that's gonna be a little bit more tentative. But you can expect at least one video from me every Friday from here on out for the entirety of 2024. Now, with all the updates on my life out of the way, what am I actually doing here in Outward? Well, this is my quick start guide, you could say, to make money in Outward. Now, obviously, this is assuming that you have the option to do split screen co-op, which I'm sure everyone does. I'm not sure how it works on the console versions. Obviously, I don't have a console, so I'm not sure how it works there, but at least for the PC,
Hey there.
this is how I do it. Sold that in the wrong order, but that's less weight for me, I guess. So essentially what we're doing is we're using a character that already has the Cicero Town key from either progressing the story more or just, playing through the story on the main file, picking up the key and then dropping it to a burner. Whatever your strategy is, you want to have the Cicero Town key. And then you want to follow pretty much the exact pathing that I've been following. I should have dropped myself the town key for optimal efficiency, but I obviously did not. But you want to follow this exact route unless you don't have something that's worth a lot of money to put in the legacy chest, in which case you can just skip this entirely. And then you can sell everything out of the town hall like I did to get the 246 silver, I believe it was, that I have. And then you can just drop that to your burner account that has the town key. and then you just quit out, right? Make a new character, run the same loop again, do everything again, and then just like that. Now, I know that part of the questions are probably, okay, what if I don't have, the Pillar Great Hammer, which the reason why I have that is because it resells for
Hey there.
750 silver, which to me,
Hey there.
that's a good amount of money. I don't normally get quite 1,000. I'm normally somewhere in the neighborhood of 900 silver is what I would say you can realistically depend on. Obviously, your rolls on your chest are going to be better. They're going to be worse, but I did this yesterday for about an hour, and I have 13,000 gold. Not that bad. I would not call that a bad amount of silver to have after such a short time, but that's just, how do I drop my bag? I don't remember. Is it tab? No, it's shift. Oh, what was it? Oh, control is crouch. I don't remember how to drop my bag. Oh, all right. Okay, well, anyway, the point is,
Hey there.
I need to actually do this. I need to do something a little different here because I have a little too much silver, but for that video that I'm going to be showcasing, you want to have, why can I walk now? I couldn't walk before. What? Weird. All right, whatever. Anyway, but for that video, I would say you want to have about 10,000 silver. That'll let you get through, and then you just go delete that, okay, whatever, and then you can just make a new game and then continue on. Now, this is the method that I use the most to make money. Obviously, if you're going for the Three Brothers DLC, which we will be covering in my guide at some point, but obviously, if that's something that you're... I see, okay. I need to move an amount of silver to my bag here. I see. Okay, well, that's not going to be an option. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Is there like a way that I can do this quicker? No? Okay. Well, that's not so bad, but obviously we have quite a bit of silver here. So what I want to do is I want to move about 4,000 to my pocket here. Okay, we're almost there. But the purpose of this is because, again, you need about 10,000 for the build guide that I'm going to show. And it took me an hour with a expensive weapon. But if you can't get an expensive weapon just right off the bat, because either you just have the town key or you just don't really have anything worth selling. I can walk with 10,000 silver in my pocket? That's crazy. Alright, but now I can just drop it. Grab the trader bag. Go over here. Grab the bag. Get in here. What am I looking? I want a backpack here that I can utilize. Obviously, I have a couple of Cicero Town keys because I've done this loop many, many times, and I've just played through the game more than a few times at this point. So this obviously has 4,000 gold in it, which we will be storing in the stash chest. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the silver, move that to my pocket, and now I just have this bag that has, 10,000 silver in it, which we will be, which we'll be utilizing for something else. So now what we do is we just sit right in front of the chest, we drop the bag, Okay. And now we'll go back to the main menu and we'll run the loop 4 or 5 more times just so you guys get the gist of what we're doing here. And it's really just that simple. It's that easy. Like I said, if you're starting a new game and you don't have the town key, it is a little more. It's not honestly bad at all to get it right. Like I could very easily, very quickly showcase how to get the town key. Hardcore, yes. And then we'll obviously make a random character. Like, you know, mine is obviously named Bank because I can. But, you know, pick a random character, give them an expensive legacy item. If what you could do, right, if you have the legacy chest but you don't have anything expensive because you either sold it or you just don't have it, is you could go to one of the merchants and you could, the smith, craft the blue sand armor. That's a possibility you could do. Or you could just keep buying like the most expensive thing that he has and then, you know, continuously do it until you have something that's worth like a good amount of resale value, right? Obviously it helps if you have something that's just worth 750, but I also understand that not everyone just has that off the bat. But even if you don't and you're just, you know, you don't want to do the legacy chest, you just want to do it without it, still very easy to do, right? Which again, I will showcase in a moment. So what we'll do is we'll split. We'll split the game again. Join this bank, and what we'll do here is we'll equip this, and then we'll drop the bag. Or drop the key. She'll grab the key, okay? Oh, or I won't grab the key. Grab the key. Okay. Grab this bag. Over here, grab this, grab this. Click through this dialogue. When you're talking to Rissa,
If I could do more, once
click
you
the
can
third
make
one.
never remember.
It'll
You
get
only
you through
have
it
a few
quickest.
days.
But again,
May your
assuming that you didn't
ancestors
have an
watch over
expensive
you.
legacy item, then this is just what you would do. You would go straight from here up to here. And this is what I was doing originally because I didn't have anything that was worth a ton of money. So it created a situation where I just didn't feel the need to use the legacy chest to make an extra like 20 silver every time. Like that just felt like a waste to me, so I never did. But go up here, grab the dress. It might not be a dress, obviously, but usually it's a dress for me. Loot this ornate chest. Ah, now this is going to be worth, the Brutal Great Axe is going to be worth 75, so if that's worth it to you, then you can just use the Brutal Great Axe as your weapon for the resale value. But we'll go ahead and take a peek over at the smith and see if he has anything that's going to be good in terms of our resale value. So I like to grab this pitchfork just because it's right there. And then, you know, you go to this chick.
Hey there.
Unequip all your gear.
Hey there.
Don't buy random things, and then just sell everything you got. So there we go. We made 244. Now, again.
What could I? All right.
Does he have anything? Okay, this is going to be worth 75. So is there much reason to buy it? Probably not. But you could do that, and then there you go. Well, obviously, I'm not going to quit here because I need to go get the Great Hammer, but an extra 75 silver every time isn't that bad. Now, when I do this loop, including getting the legacy chest, it would take me about 4 minutes to go from, you know, one area to the other, right? To completely do the loop, it took me 4 minutes. Now, obviously, you might have different luck, right? It might take you guys longer. It might be shorter for you. It just depends on how you optimize things, what you want to do, right? But I also made, you know, 13.5 thousand silver in an hour of grinding. So There are probably more efficient methods. There's probably other things that you could do to make more money. But as far as you just started the game, this to me is the most efficient method because there's also no risk of dying. And if you play exclusively in hardcore,
there.
like I do, dying is a big risk. That's why I have a burner character that just holds all of my valuables. Because I don't want to have what happened to my last character, where I was part way through building the Three Brothers New Sirocco, or Sirocco, I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but I was in the process of building it. I was about done with City Hall. I was on the second stage of City Hall building, and I was out collecting for samples, and I got, due to something that was entirely in my control, I was trying to rest during combat because it was dark out and I wanted it to be daytime so I could see. But I ended up losing. It was my first death on the character, and it was the 20% roll that kills me. So, you know, obviously that's a situation that you want to avoid. But, you know, it was what it was. The problem was I had used all of my funds because I had about 200 gold bars on the bank character that I had put into New Sirocco because I didn't expect to just randomly die for no reason. But no sense in crying over spilled milk, as they say. But I hope that you guys kind of have the gist of what we're doing here now. Obviously, if you want to spend more time, you can go in here. You can grab everything in here. This would be like a full loop, I would say, if you wanted to just get absolutely everything that you could grab. Then you could do this.
Rising.
If I don't enough of I
But I just
sick
don't
mother.
think the extra
Away with
20 or
I'm
so
sorry,
silver
that
that you
gives
get
once you can make
is
the that does seem like your most effective option.
really worth it to
Dangerous
me.
as it is.
Obviously, use the auto run feature. That way you can drop things while you're moving. But I'll, you know, showcase the, oh, you loot every individual thing that you can loot in this area. But again, I just don't think it's worth the little bit extra silver. Now, if you have absolutely nothing, you're just starting a new game and you know, you have the key, but you don't have much else. Or you just want to quickly go get the key. That's also fine. But again, for me, it's just not really worth. Right. For me, it's just not worth the extra time because you don't get much more silver for it. And of course, there's some things that, you know, just take amount of time that's annoying, like opening chests. Oh, my bag is already overweight. That's all right. Obviously, try to spend as little time as you can being overweight. Okay. Because the more time you're spent trying to, you know, run places while overweight, the less time you actually have. But again, you know, if you're doing the regular strategy, right, where you're just making about 200 silver per run because you don't have that much. I was getting an average of, you know, I would say I was getting an average of 3,500 silver is what it was. I counted it out, I remember now. I did about 3,500 silver an hour, which obviously it's not great, but it's still much better than, you know, trying to scavenge through the woods to get very little silver. That's one of the only complaints that I have about this game is how bad the loot drops are from a lot of the enemies in the beginning areas. You just don't really get all that much, and I just don't. I'm not a huge fan of that, honestly. But, you know. It's one of the many things that is not so bad about the game because you can do this. And I feel like if they didn't want you to do this, this wouldn't be allowed. You know, like it would be patched out. But it
Can I
hasn't
help
been, which to me just, you know, kind of shows that they don't care that it's in the game. But since we're trying to get absolutely everything that I can squeeze out of this one run, and obviously this is going to be a bit longer, but when you're first starting out, you don't have a lot of money. It's something, right? Also, another thing that you could do, if you don't have a good legacy and the only thing you have are like worth 75, what I would do is I would go ahead and legacy yourself, like make a character, and have their legacy be a gold bar. Because obviously it's not a ton, but 100 is better than 75. And, you know, you're only adding a couple more, like maybe a minute onto your run total. For 100 more silver. Which, I like that. Wow, you could tell I don't normally come to this part. Obviously, this run has already been much longer than it normally would be, but also, you know, I'm getting a lot more things than I normally gather from this particular area.
Greetings, friend.
But, you know, if anything, it also maybe helps show where you can find different pieces and different things. You can also sell your backpack that you're currently wearing. I don't know what this one is called, but you can sell it for 8 silver. But personally, I would keep this, and then that's the caravaner that I just talked to. I'm not even going to bother to try to pronounce his name, but that caravaner that I just talked to, he will occasionally sell scaled leather. So what I would do, while I was running this loop multiple times, is I would try to buy at least 3 scaled leather. And the reason why is because you can use the 3 scaled leather with the backpack. I believe it's called the primitive backpack now that I think about it. But you can combine all of those things in order to make the scaled leather backpack, which doesn't impede your dodge roll and is 60. Now, depending on if you value being able to not have an unimpeded dodge is a different situation, but personally it's a big deal to me. And also 60 is better than any of the bags that you're going to get before Berg, the first major city. So if you like to do a bunch of exploring in each area, like I usually will do, then it is a big help. So keep that in mind. And we'll go to the caravaner just to see what he's got. Maybe he does have some scaled leather. Usually he's had one. I think I've seen him have 2 at one point, but I've also done this loop so many times that it's, you know, obviously it all just kind of blurs together after a while.
Greetings, friend.
He does not have any scaled leather, which is fine. Oh, I don't want to sell this yet. So just selling all this, we are at 289 silver. Okay. Which honestly is not bad, right?
All right.
We buy a gold bar
What can I... All right.
from this guy because he definitely has one. Okay, we buy a gold bar, we legacy it. All right, cool. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. And that's just one of the many ways that you can play this game. And that's just, again, this is like the companion video to the one that will be coming out later in the week for the best way to, well, my build guide for Outward. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. And I hope to see you all in that next video. Have a good one.